Vlad Guerrero is now $500 million richer. 14 years with the Toronto Blue Jays. What was your immediate thought?
Immediate thought is, God, they spent a lot more money than they should have.
Yeah.
That was my immediate thought. It's not that he's not worth it right now. That's not it. It's that they took way too long to figure this thing out. They absolutely botched this whole thing. They should have signed him when he was 18, should have signed him when he was in the minors to just some crazy deal, $100 million deal then. And we'd be looking at that deal going, oh my God, they got to steal Vladdy. Why'd you sign it? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But they didn't think ahead. They didn't try to negotiate ahead of time. But Vladimir Guerrero, there's a couple great thoughts here. Incredible job by Vladdy and his team. I do not like the idea that he told the team, he told media, he told everybody he's not going to negotiate at all throughout the year. I think that's absolute crap. You just straight lied. And then don't lie. Don't lie to the public. That's the only thing. These people are fans. That could have gotten really tricky if you lied and then it got out that you were negotiating, then you don't sign. That gets really tricky. Like, don't lie. Don't say I'm not going to negotiate. Like, just say, hey, like, you can have a whole bunch. We won't get into that, but there's a whole bunch of other language you can use to basically say, I don't want to. My goal is to not negotiate throughout the season, unless and then whatever, yada yada yada. The other thing, we're already hearing this rumors coming out, or not rumors, quotes coming out of Blue Jays camp, out of their team, as the players on the team that are already talking about how they want to be there long term now. That this is a game changer. Barrios has already said and already quoted, like, this is basically, I'm air quoting here, summarizing, this is a game changer and I want to be here now for the rest of my career because of this guy. That might be conjecture. That might be just saying something because, the media that kind of hyped it up that that people weren't going to sign there because of him not being signed. But at the end of the day, this is a game changer for the team, for the organization. Moving forward, everybody talking to the Blue Jays is going to know where they stand with their biggest, best players. Bo Bichette now is a monster hill that they have to tackle and figure out that deal. But for the future, for the next 14 years, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. will be wearing baby blue, Blue Jay blue, whatever you want to call it.
So you're 100% correct about a lot of things. Number one, they should have done this years ago. They lost about $200 million by not signing him earlier. That's just stupid on their part. But they got it done, and that's very important because we've seen that there have been a ton of major leaguers who have been reluctant to sign with the Toronto Blue Jays because nobody knew what they were going to be doing going forward. Now they have the ability to keep Bichette. They have the ability to possibly go out and get Kyle Tucker and say, hey, listen, we have a nucleus over here. Before they weren't able to do that. Everybody was sitting there wondering, what is Vlad going to do? So I like this deal on so many levels. One thing that really scares me, can he stay away from the buffet? Condition. Not that I should be. It's a lot of money, David.
Well, yeah, but that's something that they addressed very early on. I don't think that's going to be a problem moving forward. I think there's something that when I was there, it was very clear that these conversations were already having. Well, they were already having these conversations to have them where a healthy weight is for him. And that's the thing. It's not going to be just a number. It's going to be something that him and the team decide, and that like his plan on the field continues with the weight, whatever it is. I don't really have a concern with it at the end of the day, as long as he hits a baseball.
You've been in that organization. As we mentioned, you used to be the minor league coordinator for pitching with the Toronto Blue Jays. So you know the inner workings of that organization. Are they the type of team that's going to go up to that $300 million threshold? Because that's what it's going to take to compete with the Yankees and the Red Sox year in, year out if you're going to be in that division.
Talking about for Bo?
I'm just talking about the Toronto Blue Jays as a whole. Are they going to be one of the top 5 teams in payroll going forward?
From a payroll standpoint, yes. I'm like for Bo, interesting numbers there. I see them. There's no reason why they can't be. And that's the thing about it. There's no reason why they can't be. Their numbers, their financials are different than any other team in baseball. They have a market that is different than anyone else in baseball. If Rogers really wanted to sit there and back them, they think they can do it. They built a new, basically revamped their whole stadium, Rogers Center, changed all of that. They built a whole new development center down in Dunedin, Florida. They've put the money into Vladimir Guerrero Jr. They went for Ohtani, went for Soto. They've made it extremely clear that they are putting money into this. Let's be smart with it too. And what they went out, they got Santander, the biggest power hitter on the market. They got him in the offseason, depending on where you see Soto.
Right.
But Santander, pure numbers wise, was the biggest home run hitter on the free agent market, and they got him. And so they've put the money out there. If you really look at it and you go up and down this roster, the money has been on the table. They've been very clear about it. Obviously, Bo and Vladdy are internal guys, and they developed them. So now there's the contract side. But Santander, they went after. They did a great trade for Jimenez, Andres Jimenez, George Springer. I mean, they made a big deal with him beforehand. Alejandro Kirk, they got that figured out. And then you're looking at that the rotation, and Barrios, Gosman, Bassett, like they've gone out and spent the money when they've had to. Obviously, bringing in Max, we know how that worked out, but just even talking to him and bringing him in is a different type of monster. So they've had no problem going out there wanting to spend the money, spending it on their guys. They just haven't found that nucleus of players to win. And it's not because of lack of spending. It's not because of lack of trying with Ohtani and Soto. They've gone out there and tried. It's just something in that clubhouse, something like, and I think a lot has to do with a really good blockdown bullpen. They just don't have it. They haven't had it for years. So there's some issues there from a clubhouse standpoint that they got to figure out, and a on-field play standpoint, but it's got nothing to do with the amount of money they've been out trying to spend.
All right. So he just set the market for first baseman. How is that going to change the entire league for first baseman? How does this affect a guy like Pete Alonso, future first baseman, now playing off this Vlad deal? Or is it just, okay, perfect time, 26 years old, young power hitter? It's
26-year-old young power hitter. That's really, I mean, in all honesty, almost every other first baseman that hits a free agent market's 30, 32. And so that's the big difference. It is Alonso and him, like some numbers wise, actually play extremely well in Alonso's favor. It's just 26 and what was he, 32 when he signed the deal? Or whatever
30,
Pete
something
was,
like that, yeah.
Whatever it is. It's just amount of control, amount of years on it. And his upside is so high. And his downside's really not that down. And so it's just a matter, and he's a homegrown player. I mean, there's so many great things about this. It changes the market without a doubt. But I think they're also looking at this and seeing Ohtani on that far end of the market too, and saying, okay, he was in the 700 range. Reality is he might just be a DH. The Dodgers have said how valuable that contract is. There's no one selling tickets and merch like Ohtani. We get it. But at the end of the day, Ohtani's a DH.
Yeah.
Who can pitch and who will pitch, but that's not really what they paid for. They paid for that DH in marketing. And they go, okay, like we have a first baseman who might become a DH one day. I think we're okay with that as if he just produces the way Ohtani did, and he has the ability to be close to that. Obviously not the stolen base part of it,
right,
but he has the ability to be able to hit the home runs without a doubt.
I find that interesting that a former Hall of Famer is now poorer than his son.
Good. That's the whole goal.
For the union, yeah, but I'm sitting there.
For every single dad and kid, that's your entire goal. That is the goal. That is the purpose, is to raise a son and put him in an opportunity to be able to kick your ass. That's the whole goal. If that's not happening, you're not doing a good enough job.
Can somebody talk to my parents about my inheritance then?
Well, it's not about inheritance. Who cares about inheritance?
I do.
Yeah, we're talking about Vlad Guerrero, right? Like at the end of the day, that's the whole point. Is like he raised the son that's kicking ass.
Yeah,
like outmake me. I want JD to outmake me.
Well, don't worry. As I've said many times, I'll be his agent. I will make sure that he makes more money than you. But anyway, really cool. But the good thing for Vlad Guerrero Jr. is he doesn't have to go out and buy his parents a house now. He doesn't have to buy his dad a car. They got money. They're good. So just spend it on himself now.
Yes, I think that's what he was always worried about.
Hey, listen, you know for a fact that a lot of young guys who get money, especially from the Dominican or those, they're sitting there, they're making generational money. They have to take, care of their parents, their cousins
I
in the
don't think
Dominican.
I don't think this has ever entered his mind.
No, not his mind. No, definitely. He's cool. He got no
Ever.
problems.